A search is currently ongoing for an individual responsible for bombing bank ATM. Authorities are heightened and attentive tonight. An explosive device was employed to shatter an ATM, leading to important questions. What motivates someone to commit such an act? To what extent might these criminal activities escalate? In Kiersbay, Germany, on February 1, 2023, in the dead of night, a black Audi races through the quiet town. The vehicle careens past speed limits until halting abruptly at the local bank's ATM. Two masked individuals spring from the car, sprint to the machine, and begin tampering with it. In a flash, the machine explodes. However, due to improper placement of the explosive, the ATM remains largely intact, necessitating another explosive attempt. As the assailants prepare a second set of explosives, a witness immediately contacts the police. Just after the call ends, the additional explosives detonate, finally compromising the ATM. The robbers hurriedly extract cash boxes, but their progress is interrupted by the wailing of approaching sirens. Simultaneously, the witness starts filming the unfolding chaos. Traveling at a remarkable 120 miles per hour, a police pursuit ensues, during which the suspects resort to using high-intensity laser pointers to blind the officers. This dangerous tactic forces law enforcement to halt the chase to avoid a collision with a nearby house. Their momentary belief in safety is short-lived, as a helicopter, which had joined the chase moments before, continues to track them. In a critical error, the suspects inadvertently enter Odenfell, where navigating the town leads them to a dead-end street. With no escape route left, they abandon their vehicle and flee into a nearby forest, hoping the trees and bushes will conceal them. Unbeknownst to them, the police helicopter is equipped with infrared cameras and is monitoring their every movement. Within 30 minutes, the men go from carrying over 50,000 euros to hiding in a bush, acutely aware of the impending capture. Moments later, police units flood the forest, apprehending the criminals one by one using only pepper spray. The trio is identified as young men from Innsbruck, situated in a region notorious for organized crime linked to ATM thefts. Meanwhile, in Ganderkies, Germany, a resident finds himself waking unexpectedly. Mistaking the time for 8 a.m. and preparing for work, he soon discovers that it is much earlier. Once again, police struggles appear futile as the robbers elude them, leading to a tense high-speed chase across the small town, weaving through highways and paths until they head toward Bremen. Unfortunately for authorities, the skilled drivers manage to evade not only patrol cars, but also an accompanying police helicopter. Despite the occurrences of such bombings seeming isolated, they reflect a troubling trend. Many suspects successfully disappear after exploding their targets, with the risk versus reward scenario proving profitable. Germany recorded over 450 ATM heists in 2022, marking a high point. The prevalence of cash reliance in Germany means ATM can house substantial amounts, from 20,000 to 60,000 euros. Yet security measures remain inadequate, relying mostly on outdated surveillance systems. Most criminals now utilize basic supplies like silicone, industrial hoses, explosive gas mixtures, and fuses to execute their plans. They typically target less protected machines located in suburban or small town areas, and plan attacks for late hours using stolen vehicles to avoid detection. While the traditional methods are still in play, a newer and more hazardous approach is gaining traction, relying on potent explosives like Semtex and BKK. Some explosions are so potent that they not only dismantle the ATM, but also devastate surrounding regions. A striking 87% of ATM robberies in 2022 utilized these dangerous explosives, which raises immediate questions about how these criminals are acquiring such materials. As daylight breaks, in Breda, Netherlands, a black Audi races towards an ATM outside the Moerwick shopping center. Two masked individuals swiftly exit, shatter the building's glass, and storm inside. Moments later, a thunderous explosion obliterates the back wall and destroys the associated cash machine. Seizing the moment, the suspects flee back to their vehicle loaded with cash boxes, but they are quickly confronted by a passing police cruiser. A chaotic chase ensues through Breda and onto the highway toward Belgium, leading to tensions between Dutch and Belgian authorities. When nearing Antwerp, the suspects make a grave mistake. As their vehicle approaches a checkpoint on the E313, they slow down, but instead of surrendering, one of the men leans out with a Kalashnikov and opens fire on law enforcement. This momentarily stalls their capture, but they soon hit a spike strip, ultimately crashing into a barrier near Oud Turnhout. As they attempt to escape from the wreckage, officers declare their intent to apprehend them, leading to a shootout. The ensuing manhunt involves multiple police units, including dogs and helicopters, culminating in the capture of the suspects at a bus stop. This gang consisted of two men from Amsterdam, Akraf L. and Abdelaziz A., alongside a Belgian associate named Imad A. The first two received 18-year prison sentences, while Imad, labeled the shooter, faced 20 years. Their connections to organized crime suggest affiliations with a potent North African criminal syndicate with ties to various international cartels. The Mafia, a conglomerate of Moroccan crime organizations, is linked to a significant portion of the drug trade in the Netherlands and Belgium. Instances of brazen attacks, such as the assassination of lawyer Peter de Vries and violent confrontations, point toward deep-seated gang rivalries. The Mafia wields influence in Amsterdam and beyond, with notable figures like Ridwan Taghai at the helm. The Taghai clan has been implicated in numerous ATM thefts, further entrenching the organized crime crisis. In 2016, Anwar Taghai, a relative of Ridwan, participated in a fatal ATM bombing in Meppen, Germany. An accident during their escape left one suspect dead while Anwar fled and was captured shortly after. In a separate case in February 2020, an ATM company owner expressed concern to Osnabrück authorities about a pattern of bombings targeting his machines, prompting an investigation. As inquiries progressed, police uncovered a purchase order tied to a mystery artist in Utrecht, who had inexplicably ordered nearly 20 ATM. This led to a joint operation with Europol, revealing extensive ties to the Mafia and the Taghai clan. However, the suspects vanished before further investigation could lead to their apprehension. In September 2020, an explosion in Utrecht accidentally claimed the life of the police's main suspect and unveiled a cache of ATM, explosives, and encrypted communication devices. The evidence suggested that this group operated a crime school, producing instructional materials on ATM heists for criminal networks. Following this discovery, multiple arrests were made, ultimately tying the suspects to over 2 million euros in damages caused by their activities. The prevalence of illicit training institutions raises alarming questions about the reach of organized crime. The German police's reports suggest significant links between North African criminals and ATM robberies, indicating a likely organized structure. Ultimately, the depth of this criminal network and its connections remains shrouded in mystery, hinting at the breadth of organized crime impacting society at a grand scale. This overview